Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me and Freddie Mercury there on this exciting day. This is the first of our information sessions on the Digital Skills Academy for the Integrated Care Network. It's part of our digital strategy in Northamptonshire to strengthen our capability and make better use of digital and data to deliver better care for people in Northamptonshire. And joining this academy information session is the first start in doing even more than you do now to make that happen. So we are looking for applications for a cohort that starts in September, and the applications process is open today. So Reese, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Reese Westall, who is from Multiverse, who are delivering this on behalf of us. And introduce yourself, Reese, and let people know about the Academy.
Yeah, thanks, Matthew, and lovely to see so many of you on the call. Yep, looking forward to talking to you about the Digital Skills Academy over the next probably about next 25-30 minutes. So how this session is going to run. And actually, first of all, I should probably introduce myself. I'm Reese. I'm from Multiverse. I lead the work that we do across the NHS and a number of our councils as well. What we're going to do for this call is I'm going to introduce you to Multiverse. You're probably thinking, who is Multiverse? What is the Digital Skills Academy? What's involved? There are 3 different programs that you're going to be able to apply for, depending on your role, your skill level, and what you're looking for from your career. And then we'll go through some of the wider benefits of being part of the Multiverse community, and then finally the application process and how to apply. I've put in the chat some links to the 3 programs that I'm going to be talking about today: the Data Literacy, Data Fellowship, and Advanced Data Fellowship programs. And at the end of this session, I'm going to ask people who have heard what we've got to say today and are interested in applying to simply start their application today. It will take 2 minutes, but what it will allow us to do as a leadership group is understand how many people from this group are intending to apply. This is probably going to take about 25-30 minutes, and then we'll have time for Q&A. If you've got any questions as we go through the session, do chuck them in the chat, and then we can go through them at the end. So to start with, a little bit of background about Multiverse. So we're an education and technology company, and we're based here in the UK, and our mission is to help individuals and organisations improve their digital and data skills. And to do that, we've designed the best-in-class learning experiences that leverages leading technology, expert coaching, and highly relevant skill development pathways to equip you with the skills you need most today and into the future of your jobs. We're trusted by over 600 employers now across every major industry, the likes of Google, McKinsey, Barclays, Unilever, and right across the NHS and well over 30 local authorities as well. And we're actually responsible for over 50% of data upskilling happening in England right now. And our programs are all delivered by our industry experts that we call our coaches, and I'll talk about them as we go through this session. And we've established a network of over 10,000 learners now that can become a great resource for you and a way to build connections. And really importantly, everything we do is focused around applied learning. So how can you take that learning that you learn with us that week, that month, and apply it into your role so that you can drive impact for yourself, your career, but also your team and your organisation and Northamptonshire more broadly. So why are we doing this? And touching on some of the points that Matthew mentioned. First of all, we want to save you time in your day by giving you the ability to automate processes so that you can spend more time doing impactful work. A number of you will have recently completed the survey that was sent out, and that provided some really useful insight for us as to how people are currently working with data and often the manual processes that are involved. We also want to empower you to be able to make data-driven decisions and help reduce data silos, and also, depending on the role that you're in, help identify cost savings as well across Northamptonshire. And giving you data skills is going to enable you to do that. And then finally, and most critically, whether it's directly or indirectly, we want to help improve your data skills so that you can help support the patients and systems that you serve in a more effective way. And across our partners, across NHS and local authorities, we have countless examples of where improving data skills has positively impacted both patients and systems. And we want to hear hundreds more of these examples from this group from Northamptonshire. So touching on a few more bits here. Why act now? Becoming data-driven is so important to organisations today in order to deliver a better service for stakeholders, whoever that is. However, there is a lot of work to do between where many organisations are today and the data-driven organisations they want to be in the future. And the number one challenge to reaching that future goal is that most people just don't have the data skills to successfully complete data and analytics initiatives. And this is where you can come in. You can be a real data trailblazer across Northamptonshire. And paving a way for your individual organisation and the ICN more broadly to as a key contributor in that. So what's this going to mean for you? It's going to mean you're able to optimise your role by moving away from spending hours on manual analysis. You're going to learn how to automate processes for faster and better outcomes. You're going to be able to future-proof your career as your peers become increasingly data literate, and you can ensure that you're staying relevant. And these programs are very much being designed by subject matter experts and leading industry experts. And then you're going to be able to advance your career by leveraging data and demonstrating the impact and making data-driven decisions. It's very much key for leaders today that there is a data-driven process and data-driven decision-making process across organisations. So I'm excited to share some more of the details. Here are some examples from some of our other learners. So Marina from NHS England was able to optimize her role by automating day-to-day tasks. She's saving a full working day every month. And actually, across our NHS partners, we've seen 6.4 hours a week on average saved from new data skills. And often it's in the most simplest of forms, just reducing some of those manual processes. Whit future-proofed his career by creating a toolbox full of invaluable data insights. Jack, with his new data knowledge, he feels equipped to take on new opportunities and challenges within his organisation, and Richard's learning experience played a huge role in his promotion. So that's a bit of background for you. Now the programme. So there are 3 programmes you're going to be able to apply for at the end of the day, depending on your role, how you work with data and your career goals. The first program I'm going to talk through is the data literacy program, which is about giving you the foundational skills to use data more efficiently and drive decision making with the data that you have in your specific role. And you're going to become a whiz at Excel, and you're going to learn how to use tools like Power BI, which I will touch on later. The second is the data fellowship program, and this is to help develop advanced analytical skills and give you the skills to leverage leading tools to uncover insights. And then finally, the Advanced Data Fellowship Programme, which is a full degree. What this is going to allow you to do is you're going to be a data champion, a leader across the organisation's leading data projects. So each programme costs over £12,000. So this truly is an investment from Northamptonshire in your professional development that your organisations have committed to, which is incredibly exciting. So let's start by talking about the data literacy program. So the data literacy program takes place over 13 months and 3 phases, and each phase consists of several modules. Each module lasts a month, and there are self-paced learning, live workshops, personalised coaching and project work, which I'll talk about later. And then at the end of the data literacy program is an endpoint assessment, because this is an apprenticeship qualification, and at the end of that endpoint assessment you'll receive a level 3 data technician certification to showcase that investment that you've made in your professional development. So highlighting a few of the key points here. In the first set of modules, you're going to focus on a project that allows you to draw insights from unstructured data. If someone can put themselves on mute, that would be great. So the first set of modules, you're going to focus on a project that allows you to draw insight from unstructured data. So imagine you've been given access to a bunch of raw data about patients or systems or staff, and you have to figure out how to analyze and package that data in a way that helps you make decisions about how to improve service for stakeholders, your stakeholders. And you're going to have the opportunity to use analytics to manipulate the data and create visualizations to draw out insights. In the next set of modules, you're going to focus more on impactful data applications. So here you're going to get to practice creating compelling dashboards through a tool like Power BI. And for those that don't know what this is the leading industry tool, which you're going to get given access to as part of this program. And this is going to help you enhance decision making and enhance this decision making of your stakeholders as well, your leaders as well. And then finally, and really importantly, the last set of modules is focused on sharing data best practices. And you're going to do this by showcasing the impact of your data initiatives and helping colleagues leverage these techniques to run their own data initiatives. So to summarize, you're going to become a whiz at Excel and be taught how to use Power BI effectively. You're going to be able to interrogate, ask you questions of, present and tell stories with the data that's specific to you and your role and your team. And because this program is focused around applied learning, you will work with your coach to find ways to apply the new skills you're learning into your day job. So what we found across our partners is that this is for people that work in finance and HR and operations and compliance and primary care, research roles. The list goes on. If you're working with data more than 5 hours a week, this is a really interesting program to consider. So that's the data literacy program. Moving on to the data fellowship program, which is a slightly longer program. It takes place over 14 months, and then there's an endpoint assessment, and it's broken into 2 phases. Again, there's live workshops, self-paced learning, personalized coaching and project work. And at the end, you come out with a level 4 data analyst qualification to showcase that investment that you've made in your professional development. So in the first set of modules, you're going to be focusing on data tools and fundamentals. And an example of a first project you might undertake is using Power BI as well as SQL, which is a standardized programming language. And you're going to leverage your SQL skills to query data from a database and then use that data to create visualizations and present findings to a group of peers. Your second set of modules is much more focused on advanced statistical analysis and programming. So to put these skills into practice, you're going to get to participate in a data science hackathon where you'll use Python to conduct some analysis and then apply advanced modeling techniques to solve real world business problems. And a common question we get asked, and it actually came up in the surveys as well, is why would I want to learn Python in my role? And really, it's about giving you the right set of tools in your data tool belt, because Python can be super valuable when it comes to creating and managing data structures quickly, as well as carrying out repetitive data manipulation tasks. And we've seen from that survey that there is a huge need for Python skills across Northamptonshire. And so if you're working with large data sets, then this skill is going to be incredibly important. So to summarize the data fellowship program, you're going to become an Excel whiz. You're going to learn about Power BI. You're going to learn how to use SQL and apply Python into your role. And you're going to position yourself as a data champion to support Northamptonshire. And finally, the final program, for those that want to and think it's appropriate for your role, you can do the data fellowship program, and then you can move on into the advanced data fellowship program. And I'm not going to spend too long on this because I know this will only be relevant for a few of you on this call. But the slides will be sent out afterwards for you to have a read through what is covered in the advanced data fellowship program. So you complete the first part of the data fellowship program, and then you move on to years 2 and 3 to convert this into a full degree. And year 2 is meant to help develop more of a breadth of data and technology skills. So working cross-functionally, for example, working with an engineering team to collect the right insights you need to make decisions. It's broken into 2 phases, starting with strategy, decision intelligence and ethics, followed by a data deep dive around DevOps and cyber and applied statistics. And the majority of that second year is really focused on giving you access to a broad range of data specialisms to give you that foundation and holistic understanding of the data landscape. And then year 3 rounds out your understanding of the full data lifecycle and gives you the opportunity to lead a data project. It dives into hot topics in the advanced analytics space, machine learning and data engineering. And you're going to spend 3 months digging into applied machine learning, where you'll use a machine learning algorithm to solve a real world business problem. So I will send these slides out afterwards for those people that are interested in this advanced data fellowship program. But as I mentioned, it's 36 months long and it is a full degree. So that is the Digital Skills Academy, and those are the 3 programs you're going to be able to apply for at the end of this session. I now just want to touch on how the learning experiences are delivered, and some of the added benefits of being part of the Multiverse community. So starting with our curriculum, unlike a lot of traditional training programs, we're not just here to throw content at you and expect you to digest it and retain it and figure out how to apply it into your day-to-day. We believe in what we call deep application, which means we support you with a range of learning approaches, all geared towards real-world application. So a couple of examples. First, our learning experts have curated highly engaging on-demand content to activate your learning and check for understanding. So each month you're going to set aside some time to complete your online learning in preparation for workshops around your day job when works for you within your day job. And then each month you're going to set aside some time for skill building workshops and peer learning facilitated by your coach. And these are really interactive in nature, an important part of reinforcing the skills that you're developing. And we consistently hear that learners love group workshops because they're a great opportunity to collaborate with peers you otherwise don't consistently get to engage with across Northamptonshire. And then to ensure you're able to retain these skills, you're going to complete some structured applied projects that are aligned to each module, so applying your new skills into your day job. And then finally, you complete what we call reflection and application, which is essentially just dedicated time to put your learnings into practice through a variety of real-world applications. And your coach is there to work closely with you to ensure you're able to find the right opportunities for this. So that might be you've learned a new skill this week. Let's say you've learned how to build a pivot table in Excel, and that's really useful for you in your role. You will then apply that into your job. You take that into your job and you track that you've applied that learning into your role. And I have touched on this, but at the heart of our learning and our apprenticeship programs is our coaching, and it's one of the most unique aspects of the Multiverse experience. And we have an incredible team of expert coaches who are there to help personalize your learning journey so that it clearly aligns with your professional development goals. So depending on the program, you're going to receive a mix of one-to-one coaching to talk through the challenges you're facing and set goals for yourself for the upcoming month. There's going to be group coaching to leverage peer feedback and experiences across Northamptonshire. And as I've mentioned, it really is a really powerful aspect of this program. And my advice is always, as you start the program, have a list of what your goals are, what you want to learn, what you want to achieve, so that you can work with your coach really collaboratively to find ways to apply the skills that you're learning during the course of the apprenticeship into your role, so that you can drive impact for yourself, for your team, for Northamptonshire and the organisation you're part of. And then finally, I want to touch on the benefits of joining the broader Multiverse community and gaining access to what we call the community hub. And this is something I really hope you take advantage of if you do pursue this with us at the end of the day. So with Multiverse, you're able to build a real professional development network, as I've mentioned, and you're going to get to support and connect with other members with shared interests. You're going to be able to attend exclusive events like panels and speaker series. We recently had the COO of DeepMind, a leading AI company, come and speak about trends in AI and the machine learning space. We've had sports stars and politicians come and speak about their journeys. We host social events like group dinners and happy hours for individuals interested in specific topic areas. And we also have monthly skill building workshops like storytelling with data or statistical analysis that's going to help you build capabilities in areas of interest that may fall outside your core curriculum. And then finally, we're constantly partnering with industry experts to provide apprentices and alumni. Once you're a multiverser, you're a multiverser for life, with access to quality thought leadership, best practices and videos and blogs and even live discussions. And we really view our community as a place for you to spend as much time as you'd like to explore, network and be inspired. So to bring that to life, what I'm going to do is just share a very short 2-minute video just to talk about that community a bit more. Hopefully that brings it to life a little bit about the Multiverse community. So I have touched on this, and you're probably thinking this is great, but what's the time involved? So at Multiverse, we specialise in our programs being suitable for upskilling existing professionals like yourselves, and we have lots and lots of experience doing this. So we've moved away from that rigid approach to apprenticeships, which when I did an apprenticeship myself, which was 4 days in an office and 1 day out of college. And instead, we flexibly blend the learning into individuals' day-to-day jobs. So for an apprenticeship, the government mandates 6 hours a week of off-the-job training. We would prefer to call this on-the-job training. So 50% will come in the form of new learnings. That will be structured workshops that happen monthly. There'll be one-to-one coaching, community events, a self-paced study. So that's 3 hours on average. And then the remaining 3 hours will be in the application of learning. So doing your normal day job, but putting those new skills that you've learned into practice through a variety of real world applications. And as I mentioned, your coach is there to help support you to enable you to do this. And as we've seen from across the NHS and local authority partners that we work with, you're going to get this time back as you go through the program with those new skills that you're learning as you start to automate processes. So that's the program. That's a little bit more about Multiverse, the time involved. Now what's the application process? So the steps are there is an application that you'll need to complete. The deadline for it is the 31st of August. I'll bring up the links on screen in a moment. But before I go into the details about the application, I'm just going to talk about which program is for you and some of the things that we're looking for in that application. So we look for role fit and prior learning. So I will read off the screen for this. Data literacy, you spend a minimum of 5 hours a week working with data, and you're in a role with access to data. Within your role, you can analyze and manipulate data using a spreadsheet tool like Excel and visualize data using a BI tool like Power BI. You're going to get given access to Power BI as part of this process if you don't already have it. Then the data fellowship program is you're spending a minimum of 10 hours a week on data analysis, and you're in a data focused role with access to large data sets. And then within your role, you have basic analysis like manipulating and visualizing data, and complex analysis like predictive analytics or forecasting. And you have the ability to apply programming skills using a BI tool, SQL or Python, but you have little to no experience with Python. And then finally, the advanced data fellowship program is you spend a minimum of 20 hours a week on data analysis, and you're in a data focused role that can lead data projects. It's the same as the data fellowship program, but you're also able to collaborate with stakeholders to improve data processes and to understand where data solutions can drive value. Then there's the intent and motivation, and this is broadly the same across all of the programs. So with the data literacy and data fellowship program, you need to be able to commit to that 3 hours of learning time each week on average from those workshops, one-to-one coaching, on-demand learning that you consume that when works around your schedule. And then 3 hours of applied learning per week. So how do I take that skill and apply it into my role? And for the advanced data fellowship program, it's a little bit more at 7.5 hours a week. And then you need to be able to demonstrate that you can thrive in a self-directed learning environment and you have support from your manager. So as part of the application, we'll ask for your manager's details. So it's always we always recommend having a conversation with your line manager first before submitting the application, and your manager will be sent a short list, about 2 minutes, a couple of questions just to check that they are supportive of you applying for this process. And then finally, funding eligibility. For those that don't know, this is funded by the government, and there are therefore some boxes that need to be ticked to allow you to access that funding. So you need to be working at 30+ hours per week and have been resident in the UK or Europe for the last 3 years. And then as part of the application process, we require a level 2 qualification in English and maths. That's GCSE pass or equivalent. And so I'm going to take a couple of points there. You have a level 2 GCSE pass or equivalent, but you don't know where your certificates are. For me, it was somewhere in my loft. That's absolutely fine. Tick the box to say you have these qualifications. And then what we can do is we can help you locate them. We can help recommend where the exam board is that will hold those original certificates. If you don't have English and maths GCSE pass or equivalent, that is also fine. As part of the application process, you'll then get directed to a very short assessment, about 10 questions for English, 10 questions for maths. And providing you get 70% on those questions, we can allow you onto the program. And then as well as the apprenticeship qualification, we'll also give you a functional skills qualification as part of the apprenticeship program, which is a really great addition to the CV to have. And I can answer any questions on that at the end of the session. I can send over some preparation material for anyone that wants it as well. So they're the 3 elements, and these are the 3 elements we look for in the application. The application takes about 45 minutes to an hour. I'd say if you're spending more than an hour on it, you're probably going into too much detail, and our admissions team will work with you. So you submit your application, and then it's not a hard yes or a hard no. We will then come back to you if we need any more information to approve you. So next steps. Set aside some time to do the application. I've included a link here, which I'll send out to an application toolkit, which will help you with that application. Going through the process, so review that criteria, discuss the time commitment with your manager, submit an application by the 31st of August, and the start date is the last week of September. It does vary by program. These are the links for each of the 3 different programs. And my ask is, as mentioned at the top of the call, if you are considering applying, please can you simply start your application today? And it just gives us an indication of how many people from this group are likely to apply. So that would be really, really appreciated. And then an added incentive. If you complete your application within 7 days of this information session, you'll be entered into a prize draw to win an iPad. I'm conscious I've spoken for 25 minutes there. I'm now going to open the floor to any questions. I'll just check the chat first before I go. Do the first courses work towards the 3rd course progressively, or do you have to commit straight into the 3rd in the first instance? I sit between level 2 and 3, I think. So yeah, they do flow into each other, so that you can do that level 4 data fellowship qualification and then take a gap and then move on to the advanced data fellowship years 2 and 3 of the advanced data fellowship program. We call it the advanced data fellowship top up, and we actually have a number of people, particularly across the NHS, that have completed that data fellowship program and are now doing the advanced data fellowship top up. I only work 25 hours, so is there any point in applying? let's take that one offline. There are some things we can do. If we can increase your hours by I think 3 a week, we can get around it. So let's take that one offline. What is the actually, there's lots of questions that come in. How does a SQL DBA fit in? I'm not sure what the question. Sorry, you might need to come off mute to ask that one. What is the accreditation for the Data Fellowship Programme? That's a level 4 data analyst qualification. Is this open to bank staff who work regular hours, 30 plus per week? You need to have a contract that lasts the length of the programme that you're applying for with the organisation to be able to apply. What is a GCSE level 2 in old money? That's a pass, so C or above. Yes, C and O levels. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Appreciate it's in some cases we're bringing out the O levels again, and unfortunately it's a government requirement that we have to tick. Right, let's go should we go to the floor? Andy, if you've got a question.
Oh, hello. Yes, I do. So looking at the sort of requirements of the 3 different courses, it looks like the second one, the fellowship, would actually be more appropriate given how much data and what it is I do with my role. However, I don't know anything about SQL. Part of the reason for me jumping on this is because I know that that's something I desperately need knowledge of. Is that going to be being completely ignorant of SQL? Is that going to bar me from going for the second one, or can I self-teach myself so that I've got the basics?
It's a great question. We assume no knowledge before going onto the program. So if you look at that data fellowship program and you think, oh, I really need to learn SQL and Python, don't apply for level 3. Go straight onto the data fellowship program, and we'll work with you. And likewise, if you have some understanding of SQL and Python, don't let that put you off applying for the data fellowship program. You will get access to all the material on day 1, and then you'll work with your coach, and you can say to your coach, look, I already have knowledge of SQL. I want to really learn Python right now. Okay, we'll work with you to accelerate that learning process and give you that material for what's later on down in the program earlier on, so that we can really push you. This really is customized to your requirements. So, but we assume no knowledge in the first instance.
Thank you.
Are there any plans for later cohorts? When will this be available? Yes, there will be. It's going to be based on demand, but the plan is for this to be an iterative partnership across Northamptonshire. If we completed key skills in English and maths following GCSEs alongside apprenticeship 3-year GNVQ level 3, would that count as a pass? Yes, absolutely. If you've done a previous apprenticeship and you've done the functional skills with that, then you can submit your functional skills certificate. Like I said, it's only a tick box that we need for that. Where would I start for a level 4 to then do the top up you mentioned earlier? I'm not sure what the question is. To do the top up, you need to have the level 4 data analyst apprenticeship qualification first before you can move on onto the second part, years 2 and 3. So you do need to start on the data fellowship, but you can apply straight away for the advanced data fellowship, and then you go through the data fellowship program a little bit quicker, and then you move into the advanced elements of year 2 and 3. Is there a limit on applicants per organisation/department? Matthew, do you want to take that one?
Well, no, but we obviously will work with line managers to make sure that we're not every single member of their team isn't on the apprenticeship at the same time. There will be other cohorts as well. So we're working with our apprenticeship levy fund manager to work out how many people we can take through the course in the first year. So even if you don't make the first cohort, there will be more cohorts, and we'll use applications that are already in to do some of that stuff. I just wanted to also say that if you aren't eligible for this, there are other options, particularly if you're in healthcare. We're a member of the Midlands Digital Skills Healthcare Network, which does Power BI and other data skills courses that are shorter in length, and those are fully funded through the way that we're a member of that organisation, and also things like NHS elective care if you're in the NHS. I'll put a link to the Skills Network in the chat as well, just so you might want to have a look at that as another option if you can't commit the amount of time we're talking about. But it's good to see so many people here. Are there any more questions? Oh, Yvonne.
Can I just ask a quick question? We're looking at having apprentices as part of some new roles that we're looking at in the future, and they may well do either a level 3 or a level 4 apprenticeship, which may be not with this particular company. Would their level 4 be able to then progress into the advanced data fellowship, or would they have to start with the data fellowship first?
No, yeah, no, they can. You can use that level 4 to progress onto that advanced data fellowship, the top up. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Excellent. There's been some great questions. If there aren't any other questions, what I will do is send out the slides to everyone that's attended. I'll send the application links. There is also, I think it's my next slide. There is also a website that the ICN have put together, yeah, there's also a website that ICN have put together with some more information as well. Question has come in: if you already have a level 3 in a different subject, does that stop you from applying? Absolutely not. Just because you have a level 3 in another apprenticeship qualification doesn't mean you can't apply for the Digital Skills Academy. Excellent. Any other final questions? The final ask is, if you are considering applying, do start today, just so that we can share with Matthew and Kirsty and the team who is going to apply. But thank you very much, everyone. It was lovely to speak to you all. Just
one last thing. I guess if you are going to have go away and have a conversation with your manager, there are 2 more sessions that they can come to find out more. One on the 8th of August, one on the 16th. So if they do want to find out more before they accept you to do it, then do send them along to one of the information sessions, and they can find out more for themselves, or contact me.
Thanks, Matthew. Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone, and lovely to speak to you all.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Reese. Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Bye.